Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some of the worst first dates that gave me secondhand embarrassment. Been there, done that.
Worst first date ever. He would not get off his phone when I got there. He even brought his baby that he didn't tell me about.
Wait, what?
What are you gonna get to eat?
I think I'm gonna get the full rack of ribs.
Are you sure you don't want a salad?
No, I think I want the ribs. Well, if you forgot your wallet, you can just like Venmo me or Cash App me. That's fine.
Sorry, I don't have Cash App or Venmo.
Stop!
Okay, well, like your bank account, you can just transfer the money to me.
I'm waiting for a check to pay.
And so,
So why are you here then?
Little container of carrots.
oh, carrots. Yes, gotcha. Well, honestly, I feel like you invited me here. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to pay.
I thought you invited me.
All right.
This goes for both men and women. On a first date, do not assume that the other person is going to pay. It's nice if they do, but don't ever assume. Always bring your wallet. I like to live by this. If I like him and he offers, I will let him pay. If I don't like him and I don't see it going anywhere, I won't let him pay for me.
You don't want to owe nobody nothing.
But this is just a hot mess. Like, are we not like self-aware? Even just at like the first, like he was on his phone the whole time. Like I've said before, being on your phone the whole time is just straight up disrespectful. It just means that you're not invested in the conversation. He fully went there expecting a free meal. When he said, "Are you sure you don't want the salad?" I would have said, "Sure, I'll have that too." Then excuse yourself to the bathroom and run. Yeah, there were some red flags here, babe. The phone being one of them and the baby being another. No offense to single dads. Plenty of my friends are dating single dads, but they knew about the kid before the date, okay? Don't just show up with like, you know, the little bassinet. How are you not embarrassed?
The most embarrassing and worst date I ever went on was with this guy who I had only gone on like 2 other dates with, so this is like our 3rd date, and I foolishly agreed to go to the mountains with him and stay overnight at a cabin in the woods. I was really excited the night before and the morning of because I really liked him, so I didn't eat for like 16 hours, and the first thing that we did when we got to the mountains was go on the hot springs. We're having a good time, we're chilling in the hot springs for like an hour, and he suggests that we go get food, so we go to the change rooms, and on my way to the change rooms, I start to get really lightheaded, and then I started to see stars, and then as I like found my locker, I fainted. No! I was unconscious for like 30 minutes. I woke up to a bunch of girls, staff, and like paramedics hovering over me, and the side of my head was bleeding because I had hit a bench on my way down. Fast forward, we go to the ER, they patch me up, and I pretty much look like this for the rest of our date. But it gets worse. So he's trying to salvage the date, and we go to the Japanese like sushi place, but there's no good sushi places in the mountain. And then right after we go to the cabin, but we were catfished because like the pictures in the cabin look nothing like what the actual cabin looked like. Like this cabin was straight out of like a horror slasher film. I run to the bathroom as soon as we get there because the sushi like isn't sitting right with me, and then I proceed to have fucking diarrhea for like 2 hours. There's no vent, and the window in the bathroom was jammed, so I had to get him to help me open it. He was literally like this while he was trying to open the window. After slicing my head open, having explosive diarrhea, and being concussed, I was like, I think it's time for me to go to sleep. He was being such a good sport about it, even though he wasn't sleepy. But remember, the cabin is really creepy, so he turned the TV on to like try to like calm himself down while I was crashing. But what he didn't know about me was that I talk in my sleep. While I'm there like crashing, he's like trying to watch TV, and then out of nowhere, I was like, my friends are here. My dream like mimicked our cabin. I lucid dream a lot, and that my friends were at the cabin with me for some reason, and I said it out loud, and he was so spooked that he literally shoved me to wake me up. And I'm like, what happened? Anyway, I'm glad he got through that date because we've been together ever since.
You know what? I absolutely knew that it was going in this direction. I knew it.
I absolutely knew it.
If you can't have explosive diarrhea on your first date, He's not the one. He's just not. They're gonna see much, much worse than that. Y'all are gonna share bodily fluids for the rest of your lives, hopefully. If he's scared of a little diarrhea, he's not the one. You sound very entertaining though. Like,
You're different. You're built different. I'd date you.
so much fun. If he stayed at your worst, he deserves you at your best. And that's on period, girl. This story's gonna be in your wedding vows. One can only hope. It's nice to know that some really terrible first dates can end well, you know?
Alright, let me tell y'all about how I ruined my first ever date. I still laugh at myself for this one. So, I was in high school, it was going into my senior year, and I had still never had my first date. My dad was very protective. And this kid from my high school, who was a year older than me, slides into my DMs and asks me on a hiking date. I didn't ask my dad if I could go. I asked my mom. She said yes. So I was super excited. Older boy, goes to my high school, super cute. I was like over the moon excited for this date. So the day comes, he picks me up. We go to the hike, we hike all the way up, and it's all going great so far. We're having great conversation, it's a good time. Then we reach the top, and me being the thrill seeker that I am, I was like, I'm gonna crawl out to the edge, and I'm gonna swing my legs over, and I'm just gonna sit there. And I was hoping that he'd like come sit next to me, and we just have this cute little moment, right? Right? No. So I do that. I go to the edge, and I put my hands on the edge, and I'm starting to swing my feet over. And I've always been a klutz. I'm just a klutz. So my phone was in my hand as I'm swinging my feet over. And what do? I kicked my phone out of my hand off the cliff.
No.
I was speechless. Speechless. Even worse, he was speechless because what do you even do in that situation? So both of us just stood there watching my phone plummet to its death. So my phone lands on a ledge a ways down, and to our surprise, it does not shatter. Now, I have protective parents. I think in general, any parents would kill their kid for this, but especially mine, and especially since it was my first date ever, and one my dad didn't know about. So since we could still see it, we look at each other and we go, wonder if we could reach that.
No!
I can't believe we were this dumb. Anyway, so I turned to a random stranger just minding his own business, swinging on a hammock behind us. And I was like, excuse me, do you know how to get down there? And he's like, down where? And I was like, that ledge? And he's like, why? And I was like, I kind of kicked my phone off the cliff. He's like, you did what? He's like, I bet that you would just like hike back down and then try to free climb up to it is my best guess.
It's
so what
not
did we
worth
decide
it.
To do? We decided to do that.
No,
so
you
we
didn't.
hiked all the way back down, not all the way, part of the way back down, and then we started free climbing to it. Now he was doing better than I was, but neither of us could reach that thing after a while of trying. And this random stranger is up at the top, like trying to hang over the edge and direct us to how to get it. He sees we're failing and he goes, do you want me to come try?
Please tell me this ends in a happy ending. I don't know why I'm so emotionally invested in you getting your phone back.
I am!
But at that point, I just don't know if it's worth it.
So I said to him, if you don't mind, and he's like, no, I got you. So he hikes down and he starts free climbing up. And when I tell you this man actually was able to free climb all the way up to it and got it for me, he got it. You know the best part? My phone was fully intact and still worked. And y'all, I'm not playing. Like, it fell a distance. So the fact that it didn't shatter, OtterBox should give me a commercial. This is not an ad, okay? I'm just telling you a story. Anyway, so we hiked back down, and why that boy kept seeing me for the rest of the summer, I don't know why. But he did.
I feel like the worst first date. No, see, okay, eventful first date. If you've got a really eventful first date, I think that it's a good sign, you know? It's a taste of what's to come. Why are y'all going to the woods on your first dates? Like, I feel like that's like, you're already taking a chance, okay? All these hikes and cabins in the woods. I don't know, man. Would rather not get murdered, honestly. Luckiest person ever for getting your phone back and also for not getting murdered.
So I had the most embarrassing thing happen to me on a first date. And it's been a few days and she goes to me and I'm post-workout, so I'm sweaty and feeling good. So let's talk about it. Matched with this girl on Hinge, which by the way, I've been getting really like high quality Hinge matches. I think I cracked the code, so maybe I need to do a video on that at some point. But anyways, we chatted for a few days. Everything seemed good. So we planned out a date and I'm a crazy person and I got there like 15 minutes early. and she was running a few minutes late, so I'm standing outside the bar just chatting with the security guy. Fill him in, like first date, met on Hinge, all that good stuff. So she texts me and says she's pulling up. I look up from my phone, Uber pulls up, there she is, cool, we're good. So I walk up to the car, she gets out, I'm all excited, I'm like, hey, and like go to give her a hug, and she looks at me like, and then just walks past me and keeps going. And I'm like, what just happened? Because she has walked far past me at this point to where it's like, this isn't like a joke or a bit. The security guy sees this and looks at me and is like, oh no, because we both just put 2 and 2 together that she did not like what she saw and she just kept it moving. And shout out to this guy because he went into ultimate bro mode and was like, F that girl, she's crazy. It's better you found out now. Just saying all the right things. And he's like, you know, like you would have wasted your time with her and bought drinks and all this stuff. Better you find out now. So like props to him for like trying to make me feel better. But how can you not take that personally and become instantly depressed?
Totally.
So I don't really know what to do at this point. And this guy pulls out, sparks it up and just hands it to me and is like, you need this. And at that point, why not? I have nothing else to lose. So I take a fat off this, cough my lungs out, hand it back to him, BSing with him for a minute, and all of a sudden I get a tap on the shoulder and I turn around, there's my date.
No!
So I'm like, oh, hey, and we hug and all this stuff, and me and the security guy put 2 and 2 together at that exact moment that I got confused. Look, it was a first date. I hadn't met her in person yet. She said she was pulling up. It was a 5'7" blonde
Wait, you
girl.
didn't
They
know
all
what
looked the
she looked
same.
like?
So then I had to go on this date with this girl. It ended up being an awesome date. We had a few drinks. It was like a 3-hour date, which was really long for a first date. And she was super cool. I actually thought it went amazing, but then she ghosted me for some reason. I can't be the only person this has happened to, so I'm having this vulnerable moment with you, and I hope that someone can be like, no, this has happened to me too. Don't feel so bad about yourself.
You know, hasn't happened to me too. Certainly not. Maybe you were just so faded out of your mind that like she was just like,
What is up with this guy?
why does he keep eating? No wonder that one girl was just like,
What are you doing? Who are you?
I think there's a good chance she liked you but knew you were high and thought you were a poor choice for a first date. She may have even seen you. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, if someone showed up, you know,
Little blitz.
on our first date, it's not exactly the best first impression. I would have told her what you did. Like, I would have told her what happened and she would have totally understood. I think that would have made like a really great conversation. I think I might know why you had a great 3 hours and why she might have had a different experience. I could see that too, you know?
This is probably my number one most embarrassing moment on a date. So my first language is Spanish, and I'm used to words being spelled out just how you need to pronounce it. Now I know this is a Spanish word, but in my mind, I just figured it was an English word and this is how I needed to pronounce it. And for some reason, I just never had to use this word before and I never had to read it. So back in San Antonio, I went on a date with a guy and he picked me up. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We were just driving around. So we drive by this place and I'm like, hey, why don't we go get some strawberry daiquiris?
What the hell is
And
that?
he just turns to me and he's like, some what? And I point to the place. So now he's reading the word that I'm trying to say.
Stop.
And obviously it's daiquiris.
No!
And he's like, yeah, let's go get some strawberry daiquiris. He says it just how I said it. Doesn't correct me. And he's like smiling so much. And I'm like, oh my God, he's happy. Like, this is a cute idea. Like, we're just going to go get strawberry daiquiris and like go on a cute date. So we get to this place. And again, I just had never ordered a daiquiri or had ever heard, I don't know. I just never thought about it. So we're ordering our daiquiris. And I tell the lady, I was like, hey, I want a strawberry daiquiri. And the lady's like, what? And like, I'm like confused because I'm like, well, that's the only thing you guys sell here. Like, why are you confused? I just want a strawberry daiquiri. And she's like, a strawberry daiquiri? And I just turned to the guy that I was with and he starts laughing his ass off. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Like, you knew I was going to say it wrong and you just waited for me to say it out in public. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. It was just too good. Like, I had to see this happen. So if you're on a date and somebody mispronounces something because they know another language, like, please correct them before they go and say it somewhere else in
so
public.
funny,
because
babe.
it's so embarrassing.
Oh.
Now my friends know about it, and whenever there's a daiquiri place, they're like, hey, do you want some daiquiris?
Daiquiris! But like also it's a Spanish word, babe. You know what that is the equivalent of? Saying that you want like a quesadilla. But like that's a Spanish word and it's people who speak English who say that. Daiquiri is a Spanish word. You know what? You're cute. You're so pretty. You're allowed. Please tell me you guys got married. That is so freaking cute.
I love that for you.
Daiquiri. Love that. Me with Cajun, I say Cahoon. Wait, Cahoon? Cajun. It is Cajun, right? Cajun? Cahoon? Me ordering crepes instead of crepes. Don't worry, girl. I called it a daiquiri for the longest time. That's how it is in Cancun pronounce it. Sorry, can I get 3 strawberry daiquiris? 600 chicken fajitas and a small fry. And can I also get a strawberry daiquiri? I even had to like think about it for a second. My sister did that with a place called Dynasty Nails. She called us Danasty Nails. The nastiest nails at Dynasty Nails. Girl, I just learned how to say daiquiri from you. Wait, are we all confused about this? No, I'm not confused. Y'all are confused, okay? But you shouldn't be embarrassed. You should not be embarrassed. You are cute.
You know, I've spent my time on the dating apps, okay? I've hit them all. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, okay? All of the above. I've been to battle, okay? I've done my time. And one man in particular cropped up recently in my life. He did a little comeback, okay? A little circle around the sun, come back in a really weird way. So I matched with him last year or something, okay? And we were chatting. It was fine. Everything was chill. He was barely funny, which is asking a lot, apparently. And so then we switched to text. We start texting. Everything's fine. Okay, we'll call him Sheldon. That's not his real name. I don't like the man, and that seems to fit him. Okay, so Sheldon and I are texting. Then one night, I go to bed. Okay, and then I wake up in the morning to just a barrage of text from Sheldon. And they started out fine. There was a selfie involved. He had been out drinking. It was very apparent he had a little tequila on the brain. Okay, so cringe. Just text, selfie. Text, selfie. You know, and I say, oof, that's rough. And then the last text says, you know, I've done enough time to realize, as if he's in jail, aren't we all? I've done enough time to realize that whenever a woman is expressing interest and then she stops texting you, that she's probably out with another guy. Sheldon, you flatter me. I'm just at home with my stuffed elephant. But even if I wasn't, even if I was at home with a different kind of stuffed elephant, that's my prerogative, right? We've never met. He and I'm a single woman. I can do whatever I want, but I was sleeping. That is what I always want to do. And so, you know, I respond in the morning. I say, oy, yikes. This is not going to work out. You know, thank you so much for your service and your time. All the best to you. And then he comes back. He tries to convince me, you know, that I've just been hurt before. And I say, who hasn't, bud? Right? But I'm not out here sending texts like that. So, you know, I say, okay, you know, thanks so much. Bye-bye. So we don't talk, right? And then about a month ago, that was a year ago, about a month ago, I go into a bar where my friend is bartending. And I see Sheldon behind the bar, right? Sheldon's working at this bar with my friend. So I call my friend over. I say, hey, I tell him the whole story. I'm like, you know, blah, 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 Sheldon. And he goes, his name's not Sheldon, it's Thomas. Huh? Homeboy's using a fake name. It was 100% this man. We made eye contact. It was bone chilling. It was this man. He's using a fake name on the apps. Oy! Creep alert, right? And then we make eye contact. He walks past me. We're completely ignoring each other, right? Because it's just neither one of us wanted to engage, okay? And he walks past me, and I felt vindicated because he had ripped through his shirt.
How embarrassing. I don't know why that is the most embarrassing thing of all, but it is. Subscribe!